Okay, good morning, Chavda. Today is beautiful Wednesday morning, the third day of Shevat in the year 5786. And yesterday we ended with a cliffhanger. What is this hidden love? Where is the hidden love from that every Jew has? Where is it from? How does it get there? What's its purpose? In today's lesson, the core distinction between holiness, Kedusha, and its opposite is the former's self-nullification to Hashem, which means that holiness wants to be part of Hashem, and the latter seeks its own independent existence. Innate love is termed hidden because it's covered by the foolishness of the animal-like soul. So there you go. We just gave it away. The love is hidden by the foolishness of the animal-like soul. Zeo on page 86 in your Chayenu. Zeo klal b'chol sitra d'kedusha. Zeo klal b'chol sitra d'kedusha she'ein elama she'nimshach me'chachma she'nikra kodesh aliyim. It's a general principle in the realm of holiness. Holiness, when we talk about kedusha, is only that which derives from chachma. Kodesh ha'elyon, supernal holiness. Remember, we said that kedusha comes into chachma, and chachma, since it's just a thought, an idea, koyachma, what is this? Which we're going to explain in a moment, is really higher than tavadas, reason and understanding. We don't really understand what it's about. So the word kodesh refers to chachma, while kedusha refers to anything holy that comes from chachma. Chachma is knowledge, but it's really a thought. As chachma represents nullification of self before Hashem, only those matters that manifest this character of chachma may be said to possess holiness. So those matters in which this characteristic is lacking, lack holiness as well. The Alter Rebbe continues speaking about this level of chachma. Chachma, its very existence is nullified in the light of Hashem, and it's not a thing of its own. It's not separate. It doesn't have its own identity. It's Batot Hashem, and therefore it's called, from the word chachma, we split it in half, and it's koyachma, the power of humility and bitul, nullification. The word ma literally means what? It denotes immateriality. As one would say, what am I? What is this? There's nothing. Thus, holiness refers to anything which, like chachma, draws down from godliness and nullifies itself before Hashem. This is the exact opposite. There's your future chavrusa, at least potentially. This is the exact. Jeremy, we're going to learn a little bit, and then we'll make introductions. This is the exact opposite of klipa and sitra achra, the other side. Often legarmayu va'amrin hav haliteni lihiyas yesh v'daber v'nei atzmei keniska le'el hepech b'chinas hachachma. So when somebody says, give to me, all I want is, oh, I guess you go. Okay, just say hello on the way by. I'll get him the rundown. If somebody says, give me, feed me, like Esav said, Esav came running in to Yaakov when Yaakov was preparing the lentil soup. Remember that story? He was hungry from hunting in the field or from running around in the field, and he says, feed me, give me. That's the exact opposite of what the godly soul wants to do. The godly soul wants to connect to Hashem. It's not about me. I don't exist. What am I? I'm nothing. I belong to the Eibishter. Whatever the Eibishter wants, that's what I'll do. The opposite is ego. Whatever I want, I'll take. Then I'll see what's if I have energy, any energy or resources left over for God. L'chein nikroim mesim ki hachachma techaya uchsiv yamusu v'loi b'chachma. And therefore, those who are in that realm of klipa and sitracha, they're on the other side. They're selfish and self-serving. They're called dead. For chachma gives life, and the opposite of chachma, which means chachma means here is represented by bittul. It's focused on godliness, whereas the opposite is what do I want? That's the opposite of life. So if chachma is life, what's the opposite? Whatever the opposite of life is. Here it uses the word mason, but in parentheses. They die without wisdom, meaning death is a direct result of lack of wisdom of chachma. Therefore, people that receive their life force from klippa are considered quote unquote dead. They could be alive, but they're walking dead, meaning they're the opposite of chachma. So too are wicked people and sinners before they're put to the test of sanctification or of sanctifying God's name. We talked about that a couple days ago, how every yid has the ability to give up his life for the sanctification of God's name. When a person is facing such a test, the chachma suddenly is aroused and it fills their entire soul, and now they're ready to give their lives for Hashem. At this point, they're alive once again. However, as long as they don't face such a test, the level of chachma is dormant within them, as the Alter Rebbe continues. I mean, we were literally talking about this yesterday. There could be a person who's a complete sinner, who's opposite, neged Hashem. He'd say, God doesn't exist. God's a terrible God. Things that you don't even want to think about and say and do whatever. Oh, a Jew's not allowed to do this? Okay, I'm going to do it. Oh, we're not supposed to do that? Okay, I'm going to do that anyway. But then when faced with Mesiras Nefesh opportunity, where, God forbid, he has to give up his life for the sanctification of God's name, we'll see that. We see it. We've seen it, and we've seen it even recently, that they're willing to do it. At that point, their love of Hashem that is revealed from its hidden state, and they become one with Hashem. So what we got to do is try to figure out how to backtrack, how to reveal that hiddenness without having to go through that Mesiras Nefesh process. Okay. The faculty of Chachma, which is bittul, as we said before, holiness in the divine soul, with the spark of Hashem from the light of Blessed Ein Sof, hein bechinas galus legufam. Just like godliness is in exile with us today, and we can't see Hashem, he's here everywhere, but can we see him? Not so much. We have to just have faith that he's here. But we can't have that interaction that we can't touch, feel, smell God. So too, the soul is in exile, in a golos within the body. And which part of the body? Benefsha Bahamis. In the left part, mitzad klipa shabacholos malish shabalev, amir leches amir shas begufam. What's the nefsha Bahamis? Ego, self-serving. When it's all about that, when it's all about what do I want? Feed me, feed me, feed me. Whether it's content, food, pleasures, whatever it is, then there's no room for God because it's all about me. So it goes hashchina kiniskaleo. So the neshama is in this exile, in this galos, as mentioned earlier. For this reason, the love which is found in the godly soul, it really wants to connect to Hashem with all its, with everything that it's got. And it's right now it's stuck in this galus. It's being held down by the other side. But it really wants to connect to Hashem. With what? With this hidden love. Right now the love is hidden. And it's called hidden only when it's obstructed by an alien entity. Not because of the idea that it's concealed, but because it's being held down. The Alter Rebbe explains that it's hidden and veiled. The levush sak, the klipa, the bepaishi Yisrael. Umimena nichnas bahem ruach shtus lachatoi What is it held down by? Stupidity, foolishness. That a person thinks, if I do this, nothing's going to happen. Or if I miss this, or if I say this, or if I think this, what's going to happen? Watch, I'll do it, nothing happens, you see? So it's stupidity, and that's what it says in Gemara Saita, that a person does not do an Aveira unless stupidity falls into his mind or enters him in some way. So that's the galus that the Nefesh Halikis is in, and that's unfortunately a lot of times what stops us from doing what we're supposed to do. So this takeaway is that our soul, our neshama, yearns to be connected with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, with God. And this feeling is often incarcerated and covered up by what? By foolishness, by stupidity. And the question is, what will it take to free it? What will it take for us to take two hands and push that stupidity out and say, no. Yetzer hara, nefesh habahamis, you're not going to win. I know what the right thing is to do. Even if I'm tired, I'm going to get up and go to minyan. I'm going to daven. Then I'm going to learn. And then I'm going to conduct myself the way a yid is supposed to conduct himself. And that's going to bring nachas ruach to Hashem. And that's the way we connect our neshama to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Easy. Now go do it. Just be more Jewish. That's all. Right, Yuda? Hashtag be more Jewish.